All right, welcome to the What's Next podcast, where we sit down with real estate agents, business professionals, and entrepreneurs to talk about tech, strategy, and, well, everything interesting, really. I'm your host, Max Bergstrom. This is What's Next. Let's go! We sit down with real estate agents and talk about how the industry is changing, thriving with technology. We look at strategy. We love it. Welcome to What's Next podcast. All right, everyone. Welcome to What's Next. It is my pleasure to be sitting here with Richard Elias. He's an elite real estate agent in every sense of the word. He's a San Diego native with decades of experience in the field, and he prides himself on providing a truly impressive experience for his clients. Richard, thanks for being here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm honored to have you here. You're actually the first real estate agent that we're having on the podcast.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're number one, the rock star for the first real estate episode here.
That's pretty cool. I'm excited to be here. Feel a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, me too. Like I was just telling you before we started, I still get the little butterflies right before we start. So, but yeah, so thanks for being here. Just to start things out, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about, your background. I was looking through, some info about you online. Looks like you got your real estate license very, very early. So it's fair to say that you've always kind of, been passionate about this, or maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, you grew up in San Diego. Did you always want to be an agent, or was there something else when you were growing up you wanted to do, or tell me about that?
I must say that I don't think I've ever really wanted to do anything else but real estate. All I know is real estate. Okay. And I remember when I was a senior in high school, I was on the porch with my dad, and my dad was in construction. Mm-hmm. And they built a lot of homes, and I always saw real estate agents come and go out of his store. Mm-hmm. And one day my dad's like, Rick, you should go get your license. And that's pretty much all it took. And after failing the test 5 times,
really,
I'm not embarrassed to say that I failed the exam 5 times. I was 18 years old.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So I did achieve my goal. I did get my license, and from there I started in the business, mm-hmm. not really knowing much at 18 years old.
Yeah,
and bouncing around trying to. My hardest part was trying to find an office that would hire me because I was so young. And I was turned away a few times, and they basically said, "Hey, we like you and stuff, but you're too young here. Why don't you go get some experience and then come back and talk to us later?"
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah, so it started out pretty hard for me in the beginning.
Yeah. So, how was real estate different back then, as opposed to it's because I don't know. I have my license as well, but full transparency, I've never used it because I'm really no good at it, and I know that about myself. But it seemed very easy to me. When I first moved out here. I'm from Minnesota. I came out here, I got my license, and everywhere I went, they were like, "Yeah, no, come here. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. They're like, "No, it's fine. Come here. We got the best mentors. We're going to do this, A, B, and C. We got all these systems and all this stuff."
Systems, yeah.
Right, systems, right? That was the buzzword.
Yeah.
So, this was 2016. So, what was it like when you were...
When I got my license, when I finally landed a job, I remember my first job was at Realty World. Okay. And I was basically told, you need to prospect. You need to pick up the phones and talk to people. Yep. So, and we didn't have we didn't have an MLS as we do today. Our MLS was a book.
Really?
Yeah, that's almost. God, I'm really old. I really got in this business. I'm not that old, but. Real estate
you're
world,
vintage.
I'm vintage in real estate world. I've been doing this quite a while.
Right.
So yeah, we had an MLS book that they would give us every couple of weeks, and that's how we would search what's on the market. Mm-hmm. We didn't have any apps. We didn't know what an app was.
Was there pictures in this book too?
No, there were no pictures. There was no pictures, and the book would be updated every 2 weeks. So every week they would deliver a new MLS book to the office, mm-hmm. and then as far as making our calls and making contacts, I would actually. The yellow book, the phone book.
The phone book.
Yeah, was my source of calling people. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. And I manually dialed. Today's real estate agents, we're spoiled. We got multi-dialers. We got automatic dialers.
Yeah.
You can call 10 people, 5 people. I mean, today, it's just a completely different world. So,
right.
But back then, it was manually dialing and didn't know what to say. Got hung up on quite a bit.
Okay, so back then, I mean, was like scripts still a big deal? Like follow your script. There was all these, because like nowadays, right? You can look up, real estate script, and there's like, here's your open house.
We had no internet back then, so there was no looking up. Back then, it was just there was no scripts. I really didn't find my way or didn't really have any direction. As a matter of fact, the office that I started in originally, I was made fun of because I was the youngest. I was 19, 20.
The new kid on the block.
The new kid on the block, and it was an older office, so there were a lot of older agents. So I remember walking into the office after school, and because I was going to a community college at the time, and I would come in after class.
So you're going to college,
yes,
and you are also a real estate agent.
Yes.
Okay, so what, did you like what?
And I was also bussing tables at the time at Carlos Murphy's.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of Carlos.
No,
Carlos
haven't.
Murphy's, where the Casa de Pico is in Grossmont Center?
I don't.
The Mexican restaurant? Well, that's where I was bussing tables.
Okay.
So I was taking listing, and bussing tables.
Okay.
Funny story, I was bussing tables one time, and because I had to cover at the time, my car payment, because I needed a car in real estate, right?
Sure.
So I was bussing tables, and I just remembered scoring this really big listing. So, in real estate, you kind of fake it till you make it. You got in front of your seller and you told them how great you were. And you were the best,
sell yourself,
number
right?
one, right? I'm number one agent in the country, right? And I ended up getting this listing and secured the listing and then went to work a couple days later. And here I am, not even a waiter, bussing tables. And this guy walks in with his family. I almost had a heart attack.
Oh my gosh!
Did
you duck back?
I actually went back to my sales. I went to our manager in the restaurant. I said, Ron, I don't know why I remember his name. Ron, I can't go out there and bus any more tables till this person leaves because they think I'm the number one agent in the county.
Right.
And here I am bussing tables as the real estate agent. So it was after that moment I came to an aha and I realized that was it. I need to quit bussing tables and I need to go balls to the wall in real estate.
Yeah.
And I also quit community college.
Yeah, well, and so, to piggyback on that, when I moved out here, I got my license. I had like a 60-hour-a-week job in business development, and I was a professional musician, and I was trying to be successful in real estate. And it was like, I just can't do this. This is too hard. And people are like, man, like, you got to make a choice. Like, if you want to do that, like, I'm sorry, but the band may have to be put on the shelf. You're going to have to quit your job. Like you really, you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out if you truly want to get to the top. Am I right?
No, you have to be both feet in.
So tell me about that. Was that scale? Like, what were the emotions like when you were like, I'm done with college. I'm not going to work any, regular jobs per se. And I'm going to throw everything I got into real estate. How quickly was the success, or was it hard on you? Was it emotionally labor intensive?
There was, the success was never quickly. It was a progressive success. And till this day, I don't even deem myself successful. I deem myself as, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to become the best version of myself. Because,
I love that.
at the end of the day, if you think you've made it, or if you think you've made it to the top of the mountain, then there's no more climbing. And if there's no more climbing, then what's the purpose of doing anything else in life? So I never really want to get into my own mind and think that I've made it, because I really haven't made it. I want to be able to continually grow and learn and become a better agent for my clients. And for myself, more importantly, so that I can serve. Because if you're not happy with yourself, how can you make other people happy?
100%.
So
100%.
it's an ongoing thing. So, going back to that, when I did decide to, cold turkey and go full-fledged in the real estate, I happened to go to a Mike Ferry seminar. And I would say that Mike Ferry pretty much laid the foundation, kind of sounds funny, in my real estate career. And gave me the systems, the discipline, as far as how to become a salesperson. Because when you get your license in real estate, you don't automatically become a salesperson. You have to grow into that role, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I know like Mike Ferry is much more direct, as opposed to like a Brian Buffini or somebody who's doing more like, soft tactics and things like that. But and then so at one point I had a bunch of Mike Ferry scripts, and I mean, we used to follow him for a while. I was with Harcourts when I was, trying to be an agent. And I mean, it just seemed like very direct, get on the phone. Hey, who do you know that wants to buy or sell? I mean, it's just right to the point. And you deal with a lot of rejection. And I mean, I don't know. I used to talk to my broker. I used to talk to, people and say, man, I'm too sensitive. I can't do this. I can't handle the rejection. When somebody says no, I feel, I like just shrivel up and I get really uncomfortable. And so like coming from somebody like you, I know you have to just push through that. So how did you do that when you were first starting? I mean, were you just like grin and bear it, or were you just like, this is no problem for me? It rolls right off my back.
No, nothing was ever no problem for me. I had to work at everything. I had to work on my mindset. I had to work on my skill set. I had to work on my tonality, how I spoke to people. Everything that I am today was an ongoing progression of becoming a salesperson. And it's hard, and you really have to really want it and have the passion of being the best. And if you look at any athlete, Stephen Curry, he will get out an hour before the game and stay an hour after the game. The guy knows how to obviously make a basketball, a basketball shot. But he still practices the same shot. And you have to practice. You have to know how to talk to your clients and how to handle objections. And when they say to you, will you cut your commission? Well, if you have $20,000 on the line, you need to know how to respond to that and not respond in a way that's going to turn them off, but respond in a way that's going to make them think that, you know what, you are bringing some value to the table.
Totally.
And I think that's where most agents in today's market, they don't spend enough time working on their own skill set and
100%.
Working on themselves and becoming better salesperson.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I love that. So then, you're an elite agent.
If you want,
I just read that about you.
Okay.
So, and I know, you're ranked in the top 0.5%. So, I mean, what does that mean to you? Like what does it look like to be an elite agent? Somebody that's going to be ranked that high. How do you treat your clients to be ranked like that?
Great question. I treat every client as they're my only client. And I really listen to what my clients say. I listen to what's important to them. And I never make it about me. It's always about how can I help you? How can I serve you?
Be of service.
And what's important to you? Because Zig Ziglar once said, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want.
Yeah.
And I've always remembered that. And I never come across, or at least I hope I never come across, that I'm the best agent in the county and I'm the number one agent, because so many agents say that, and people don't care about what you're about. They only care about what you can do for them. So at the end of the day, I think it comes down to being sincere and being committed. And when you say you're going to do something, do it.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest, first of all, I love that, but I have somewhat of a spiritual advisor in my life. And he told me once, he said, if you want to ace life, all you got to do is two things. So what's that? He said, do what you say and say what you do.
100%.
Say you're going to do something, do it. If and it's just like, it's simple, but it's not easy always.
No, it's not. And that's the point. Like we do complicate a lot in life. Everything is complicated, but when you really, the one thing that I've been coached all my life with, coaches in real estate.
Yeah.
And, the one thing one of my coaches told me one day, and just made total sense. He's just like, kiss. He's like, write down the word kiss. And everyone knows what this means. Obviously, at the time, I didn't know what it meant, And I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, keep it simple, stupid. And it just makes, when you any business, if you just simplify and really do the highest income producing activities, you will succeed. But don't get caught up in the whirlwind of life. Don't get caught up, because when you get caught up in that whirlwind of your daily activities that aren't progressively moving you in the right direction,
Right.
you're not going to advance or get better. So focus on the things that are going to improve your life or improve your income, and just do those activities.
Right. So then when you run your schedule, do you time block, or like how do you, how do you manage your time? Do you consistently audit, like, this is bringing me money, this is bringing me money, so I'm going to focus all on these, and like this I can do later, this isn't important? Like, what's the process like for you there?
Great question. Yes. I focus 85% of my day on income producing activities, where if I am not on the phones talking to people about real estate, and it could be cold calls, could be past clients, could be sphere of influence, could be for rent by owners, it could be absentee owners, it could be a number of things. But if I'm not consistently talking to people on a daily basis about real estate, buying or selling, investing, whatever the case is, then I'm either on listing appointments, or I'm negotiating contracts, or I am giving great customer service to my current clients that I have either in escrow or that are listings.
Definitely.
So that's pretty much the makeup of my day.
Okay.
And I do follow a pretty strict schedule as far as I really like to my schedule in the mornings I prospect, meaning I spend at least 2 hours a morning, 2 hours every morning prospecting.
And that's a discipline that you've built in.
I've built into 29 years, yeah.
And I'd be willing to bet that you don't always feel motivated to get on the phone and do it.
No, yeah.
But you do it anyway.
Make no mistake about it. There are days where I want to go to the beach, or I just want to take the day off. And I'll be honest with you, there are days where I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Don't always,
But 90% of the time, I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or I would not be able to do what I want.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's great. I love that. And I like the fact that you can, when you look at somebody's success, you look at somebody and they're very successful, and when they talk about it, and have you ever seen those like graphs and memes where they're like what success looks like, what you think it looks like, and it's this like straight line up, and when they're like what it really looks like, it's this zigzag squiggly thing, right? So I mean, it can be a mess. You don't always win. No. Sometimes you fail. The difference is how do you get back up? How okay, I know I effed up. It's okay. I'm just tomorrow. I'm gonna do it again.
I even told you today. I mean, I'm a really transparent person, and I pretty much what you see is what you get from me. Okay. And what did I tell you when I walked into when I first met you today?
Yeah, you said, hey, I almost canceled on you guys. And then you said, I got a lot of bullshit going on.
I almost canceled. I'm having one of those weeks, and it's one of those weeks. I don't have them often, but I do have them. And you have to, it's not how you can either decide to get caught up in it, or you can decide to say, you know what can I do to get out of it?
Yep.
So it's all about asking yourself the right question. And I really believe, we can ask ourselves questions that will move us away from pain or bring us toward pain.
Yep. And the key word that I love to use is decide. It's a decision.
Yeah.
The decision comes from, I believe it's a Latin word, scisere, which means to cut. Yes. To cut free of, if you will. So like, decision, like that's a powerful word. And there's a lot of people that I don't think realize, like, you can make a decision to feel crappy.
Yeah.
Or you can make a decision to let it go.
Yeah. 100%.
But it is actually a decision.
100%. I agree.
And people are like, but I don't feel good about it. Well, how you feel about it has nothing to do with it.
You're so right.
If you make the decision, then that means everything else is cut away. I'm prospecting for 2 hours because I know that, I got bills, I got kids, I want to help my clients, I want to do this. So it's irrelevant how I feel about it. I'm going to make it happen.
And you made an amazing point, Max. People in this business, people in real estate, people including this guy, sometimes you can't make a decision based off of how you're feeling at that moment. You have to, if you're a surgeon, or if you're a professional baseball player,
exactly,
and you're Michael Jordan, and you have to play a basketball game, and you're having a crappy day, guess what? You got to shake that off and go on the court, and you need to perform.
Yep.
If you're a surgeon and you have open heart scheduled and you got into a fight with your wife or you're having a bad day with whatever, you still have to get out.
I just don't feel like it today. Sorry.
I'm done. Yeah. No, that life doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
We're adults and you need to do adult things.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I was looking a little bit in some things I was reading about you online, and you talk about energy. And we have this thing, here we talk about energy being currency. And like when you walk into a room, you can kind of like, sometimes a certain person will walk in, you can kind of feel their energy and like things kind of lighten up in the room and then you feel different. So I'm really big into energy exchange. And so what's that like at your office? What's that like? How do you use energy in your practice and with your clients to leverage?
Well, great question. Energy for me, I'm pretty, as far as an energetic person, I mean, amongst my friends, I'm kind of like the energy person.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not acting a certain way or being, myself or who they expect me to be, I'm automatically flagged as what's wrong.
Yep.
So I am always paying attention to my energy, but you also have to be careful that when you come to clients, you have to match their energy level. If you're meeting with a client that's a little subdued or, not as crazy or, doesn't have the same energy level, you need to tone it down a little bit.
You meet them where they're at.
You need to match and mirror them because, I've done a lot of NLP training, which is neuro-linguistic programming.
Yep, I'm familiar. I'm a psychology major.
Oh, so yeah. So
you're speaking my language.
Yeah. So there's amiables, there's analytical people, there's different types of personality types that you kind of have to really know what to give them, like how to make them happy and how to speak the language that they understand.
Yeah.
So energy is huge, and I think energy comes down to doing what you love. And when you love what you do, your energy should automatically fall.
Naturally.
It should just naturally come. It should be organic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, to your point, like if you met somebody and this somebody's like, oh, hi, Richard, how are you? You're not going to be, hey, man, what's going on? They're talking a mile a minute. They're going to be like, whoa.
No. I'm going to match it. As a matter of fact, when I cold call people and, when I call people on the phone, people say the word cold call.
Right.
But when I do a lot of my circle calling or just listed just cold calling, if someone answers the phone and says, hello, I'm going to match, hello.
Exactly.
I'm not going to do what, like you just described. Hey, what's up?
Hey, it's Mr. Salesman here. How are you?
No, you have to match and mirror your customer. Definitely.
Yeah. And then you can kind of lead them. Once you're in rapport, you can lead them a little bit. But Absolutely. If you start off like that, they're like immediately.
Absolutely.
And like, for me, I was a telemarketer when I was 18, 19, I was a telemarketer. And like for the first couple of years, it was just asking for donations. That was like, That was hard. Oh, very hard. Very hard, But I mean, I was a kid, like everybody, was like drinking on the job back then. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was what it was. But then I went to a place where I was actually like calling businesses and those people knew what they were doing. And so, I couldn't, just slack off anymore. But that was a huge, I always had like this, hey, how's it going? And like they'd be like, no.
You got a really good voice, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like the way you said that.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Richard. How are you today? Yeah,
I like that.
Right. Well, I do the voiey'over stuff here for So yeah,
that's where I've heard.
That's why I'm doing this. I think they were like, I like his voice. But I made that mistake for years until it was pointed out to me, by not even by a coach, but just by like another guy I was working with. It was like, dude, like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, this is my salesman guy. He's like, no, don't stop that.
Yeah, you're take your bat and stop hitting people on top of the head. Yeah, put the bat away.
Right. Well, speaking of using the phone, I want to talk about that a little bit because I know that is a huge sales tool for you. And I have a couple of stats here. I want to talk about them. I know you mentioned that you might have a couple of stats about the phone as well. But just to start, so we're talking about using the phone in real estate and in sales. It says 41.2% of salespeople say that their phone is their most effective sales tool at their disposal. And this is stats, I believe, from like 2018, 2019. Now, technology has come up. People are texting, people are emailing. Like, what do you think about? Do you think that still rings true, or like, is there a lot of people that you're like, I don't make calls, I'm doing text messaging, and that works better for me? Like, what do you think about that?
I think that depends. I'm a fan of text messaging. I think it's everyone does text messaging now. So I do like text messaging, but nothing will ever replace the actual person-to-person communication as far as talking to people. Eventually, if you need to talk to your doctor, you're going to talk to your doctor, right? You're not going to text your doctor.
No.
Hey, by the way, I just want to let you know that you're dying. You know,
right.
He's not going to text you that.
And honestly, I've had experiences like that where you get texts or you get, you have these like platforms you can log into, and there's certain things like, hey, a package is coming your way tomorrow. Great, text me that. But hey, you might have a brain tumor.
Yeah.
No, what?
No,
like
no.
I need
Don't
to
text me that.
Exactly.
Yeah. No.
Because I'll catastrophe like any little. I don't like even seeing a notification from a doctor because I'm like, I got cancer. I just know it. You know what I mean?
You're just like me. I see doctor on my phone. I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sue, get the will.
Right.
So no, I totally get it.
Yeah.
But I think here's the problem in what I've observed. I think people have used technology to make them lazy, especially in the real estate world. They've used it as an excuse. I think technology is a great added tool.
Yes.
But it's nothing that you should rely on 100%.
It doesn't replace.
It doesn't replace you, Max.
Right.
They can't do this podcast today without Max sitting here. There's no robotic Max. You can't text me the questions we're talking about today.
Right.
You need that personal experience.
Exactly.
So I definitely think picking up the phone, talking to people, asking them questions and letting them know that you're a professional, that will never go away. I really believe that people want to know that there's a professional. Just like I like talking to my insurance agent. I like talking to my financial planner. There's people in my life that I like talking to because they are very important to me.
Totally.
Now, texting does come in handy, but I think as a salesperson, you need to continually focus on talking to people.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. I got one here. This is kind of cool. It says, over 100,000 people, Gong.io analyzed over 100,000 connected outreach calls and found successful salespeople talk 54% of the call. Now, I've heard people say let the other person do like 80% of the talking. And I've heard other people say, no, like you need to lead and control the conversation. So what's been successful for you? Do you talk most of the, for the lion's share of the time, or are you really just asking questions and allowing that person to come to their own conclusions when you're?
I think it's a balance. I think asking questions, selling is not telling. So asking questions and leading people to the desired end result, and letting people know that, hey, selling a home right now may not be in your best interest. And, for me to determine that is to ask you a series of questions. And so many people don't understand that selling is not telling. So you have to listen more and talk less and let the customer tell you what's important to them. And then you tailor your questions based off of what's important to them. And there's a basic I know you mentioned earlier in the podcast that you would love to do a role play with me or do a live telephone call.
Yeah.
I would be okay with us doing a role play right now if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Just kind of take you through a general call as far as what I do every day to drum up business.
Okay.
And it's been very effective for me.
Sure.
So if you're down to do a quick role play, I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds great. So then, who am I going to play here?
You're going to play the seller.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm the seller.
And I'm going to set this up.
Okay.
I just recently sold a home in your neighborhood.
Okay.
Okay. And typically when I sell homes in neighborhoods, I do a bunch of calling around the neighbors,
sure, letting
them know that we just made a sale because people like to know what's going on in their neighborhood, right? So we call it a just sold call. And it's a scripted call that I have memorized. I've internalized it. So everything what people have to understand is when you watch the news, there's a teleprompter that's telling them what to say.
Sure.
Every successful actor knows their what really well.
Their lines.
Their scripts.
You gotta.
So the most successful people know their scripts better than they know anything else in life, and they get paid the most money. So
and you do that as well.
I know my scripts.
And did you write your own?
No, these are all Mike Ferry scripts.
Okay, so Mike Ferry, there's real gold in Mike Ferry scripts.
Absolutely, and they're free. You could download them on his website.
Yep.
And I would highly recommend because they're just basic selling questions, and they really help you lead the customer in a direction that's going to either do you want to sell or you don't want to sell. So we'll do a role play right now.
All right, I'll do the best I can.
And you can throw me whatever objection you want, okay?
All right, okay, all right.
I just sold a home in your neighborhood, and we're going to go through it. So ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, hi, is this Max?
Yes, it is. Who is this?
Hi, Max. My name is Richard Elias. I'm with Compass Real Estate, and we just recently sold a home in your neighborhood over on XYZ Street. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, sold for $750,000. And we still have qualified buyers interested in moving into your neighborhood. So I was just wondering, when do you plan on moving?
Okay. I don't think anytime soon. My wife is pregnant, but I don't know. We thought about it a little bit, but we just don't have the finances, or we just haven't really thought any of that through at this point.
Okay, well, I can appreciate that. And by the way, congratulations on your wife being pregnant. Do you know what you're having?
Not yet. We want to keep it a surprise.
Okay. I kept my first a surprise. I mean, there's not too many surprises in life, so good for you. That's fantastic. And Max, just curious, how long have you lived at this address over on Vista Camino Way?
Let's see. We've been here since 2017, so almost 4 years now.
Wow. Good for you. 4 years since 2017. And how did you happen to pick a home in this area?
We actually we were kind of looking to be close to my parents. My parents are getting a little bit older, and they live in the neighborhood, so we moved within close proximity to them because we wanted to be around.
Okay, excellent. I'm sure they really are loving that. And where did you originally move from?
Actually, we moved from Boston.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boston.
Yeah, I grew up here, and then I left for college and stayed away for a while. So we moved back from the East Coast.
Okay. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And so if you were to move, I know you mentioned earlier that you were kind of thinking about it, but your finances weren't where you would like them to be. But if you were to move, where would you go next?
I really don't know. I mean, I'd like to stay here, and it just all depends on what happens in the next several months when we have our new addition to the family.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't think my credit is very good, and the whole loan process and all of that has just been really confusing. And so to be honest with you, I've been really turned off by the whole experience of even thinking about it.
Well, I can appreciate that. And you're right. I mean, buying a home, selling a home, just thinking about that entire ordeal sometimes, there's a lot involved. And at the end of the day, if you were to sell your home and get into something else, what would be most important to you? Why would you want to do it?
Well, I guess, we got a new family member coming, so I'd want to make sure that my kids have a backyard and we have enough space. And if we want to have more kids at some time, maybe to continue to, upgrade.
Okay. So you want a better quality of life for your family. That's what I hear you saying. You want a bigger backyard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for you. And you know what? At the end of the day, I want the same thing for you. So why don't we do this? And I know you're not ready right now. No obligation. Why don't we get together and I can at least share with you what's going on in the local area of your home, and I can tell you what your home's worth. By the way, do you have any idea what your home's worth, Max?
I have no idea.
Okay, perfect. That's exactly why I'd like to come out and meet with you. So why don't we set up a time to get together? Are evenings or afternoons better for you and your wife?
Well, I think evenings could work.
Okay,
we both work during the day. So.
Okay, and what's your wife's name? I'm sorry.
Her name is Bella.
Bella. Nice name. So Bella and Max.
Yes.
So you said evenings are good for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think evenings would work.
Okay. So does Tuesday or next Thursday work? Which would you prefer?
Tuesday or next Thursday? Let's do next Thursday.
Okay. So I'll pencil you in for 5:30 next Thursday. Come out, take a look at your home. I'll tell you what it's selling for, what's going on in the neighborhood. And if what I say makes sense, go ahead and get your home sold. If not, at least you have the facts to make a decision that's best for you and your family. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay,
that
great.
Sounds great.
I'll see you next Thursday. Thanks a lot, Max.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
That was awesome.
I don't know what happened.
No, that was awesome. I love how you that approach is like just Tuesday or next Thursday, where you're not giving me like, hey, can I do it?
Yeah.
You're like, why don't I do this? Does this time or this time work for you? Because it's not like Tuesday or Thursday or not at all.
Yeah.
They have to think, okay, this time or this time. Yeah, that was good.
So that's in a nutshell. That's how I get 75% of my business.
Okay. So calling around, you just sold something in the neighborhood, you figure out who else is around, and then you just call up
I play the numbers.
Friendly conversation.
Yeah, I play. And do people tell me buzz off? Absolutely.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Tonality. You mentioned tonality. I know, a lot of like the sales gurus and like Jordan Belfort of Wolf of Wall Street. I've taken some of his trainings. Grant Cardone, like some of these big sales guys, they talk a lot about tonality. Do you just match the tone of the person and then stay with that? Or do you have like lower tones, higher tones for different? I noticed when, you had an upward inflection, like when we first started, I don't know. I've heard a lot, like if I called you and I was like, hey, this is Max from it was like a downward immediately. That's like, nope, like salesperson. But if I called and like said, hey, it's Max from ABC Realty.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, do I know you? It's kind of like, hey, it's me. Remember me?
Exactly. Tonality is huge.
Yeah.
And I do have a mirror when I prospect in front of me.
Really?
Yeah, so if I can catch myself, you should be smiling.
Yep.
Like, hey, this is Richard Elias. Because when you say that, hi, my name's Richard, was sent you, or Compass, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so that was great. Well, thanks for taking me through that. Speaking of the gurus and famous salespeople, I've got a little segment here. I like to call Who Said It. All right. So I'm gonna say a sales or real estate quote, and I'm gonna quiz you. There's two choices. You just you pick who you think said it.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go ahead with the first one.
Get ready for this.
All right, here we go. Now there's shockers under your seat. If you get it wrong, it's gonna just kidding. Tony, the shockers aren't on right now, are they?
Turn the shockers off.
Turn the shock. Okay, no electroshock. All right, here's the first one. I will tell you how to become rich. Close the doors. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. Who said that? Warren Buffett or Winston Churchill?
I'm gonna go with Warren Buffett on that one.
Boom.
That
is a Warren Buffett.
Yeah,
quote.
That's a Warren Buffett one.
Yeah, he's what do they call him, like the Don or the Godfather or something like that?
Yeah, he's the G.
Yeah, he's the G.
Yeah,
I love like people tell me all the time, like, hey, Warren Buffett's got the same 24 hours in the day that you do.
Yeah.
So it's just like, how are you?
It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
It is.
Yeah, it's just nuts.
It is crazy. Buy land. They aren't making any more of it. Who said that? Mark Twain or Thomas Drummond?
Buy land, they're not making any more of it. Mark Twain or Thomas Drummond? Mark Twain.
Correct. That is a Mark Twain quote. And speaking of that, are land sales, is that like a really, pardon my ignorance if I'm wrong on this, but is that like a big thing right now?
Depending on where the land is at, there just isn't a lot of land in San Diego.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go out,
right,
east.
Right. Okay.
But if land sales are picking up because people are buying land, because once you run out of, they can't make it unless you want to go to Mars.
That's it.
Unless you want to join the rover on Mars, that's all we have is land here.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of it available, but the ones that are available, it's either a mountain or it's undeveloped.
Right.
So it depends on it. It's kind of like land is kind of like diamonds.
Okay.
Okay. Diamond, depending on how much work has to be done to the land to make it desirable.
Sure.
If it's undeveloped, then it's going to be a lot less desirable because it's going to take a lot more money to develop it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's
what's the benefit though of owning what's that movie, The Founder, which is all about Ray Kroc with McDonald's. Mm-hmm. Now, I watched that movie. I didn't know the whole story, but he couldn't buy out the brothers or whatever, so he bought the land from under their restaurant. And he's like, well, I own this land under your restaurant. It was a very, very sharky thing to do.
It's actually a big thing to do. That's great. Yeah.
Right. So is there a big benefit to owning land?
I think in the long term, if you have the time, buying land is good, depending on where the land is at. Mm-hmm. Now, I have clients who've purchased land, out in the boonies, and they still own it, and it really hasn't gone up in value because it's still kind of undeveloped. And there's really no demand because everything is supply and demand. Look at the housing market right now.
Yeah.
there is no homes for sale, so prices are going up.
Yeah,
So,
is that going to? I have somebody that I know that wants to move out here, and I mean, she's like, well, you've got you work, in escrow, and you've got your license, and you're out there, and you're talking with all these people. Are they ever going to go down? Because I mean, it's staggering how. I
think we're going to see an adjustment, and what's really happening is, when people think about the housing market, for some reason they always go back to 2008.
Right. And they're always, this is just like
the market,
08.
And we're nothing like 08. 08, they gave a lot of bad loans. And in 2017, 2016, 2018, 19, and 20, they're not giving bad loans. They're actually giving.
Yeah, if you had a pulse, you could get a loan back then, right?
Into a mirror, you got a loan, okay? Nowadays, it's, they want to know what you do, what your kid does, what your kids' kids do. Okay. So it's a lot different nowadays.
They're not just throwing out loans like crazy.
So for all you people who think the market's going to crash like 2008, listen to me. It's not, okay? We'll probably have a correction, but it's going to be nothing like we experienced unless, disclaimer, there's a major catastrophe.
Right.
Okay. So, and God willing, that doesn't happen. But I think the San Diego real estate market is very healthy, and we're going to continue to see upward appreciation. Hopefully, it's going to stabilize a little bit, but it can't continue at this pace where people are paying 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200,000 over asking price.
Got it. Okay. Well, I read something in your bio about you mentioned that you love learning about new technology. So to touch on technology a little bit, how are you currently using it in your business? What sort of technology are you using?
Well, first and foremost, I'm with Compass Real Estate. You know that, and
you've got your own team.
I have my own team, and I will say a little Compass plug. Compass is on the leading edge when it comes to technology.
Okay.
Our platform, as far as how from our CRM to our collections, to the way we communicate with our clients, from our marketing center.
Okay.
I've really never seen anything like that. So technology on that side is really good, because it really, I'm going to quote what Compass says: improving the agent experience is their goal. So when you help us become better, then we can help our clients become better.
Right.
And I think the way that Compass is using the technology, and the way that we have that at our fingertips, where everything's in one platform, where we can design mail, print, email with a few clicks, and it comes out looking amazing.
So it's like a hub.
It's a hub.
And you can do your email marketing, you can do social media.
You've
got your CRM.
Everything
you've got
is tied
text,
in.
all that. You've got, do you guys do feature property sites and things like that?
We have everything. Yeah. We even have an AI technology that we're using, where it scans our database and it tells us people who are most likely to sell.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, you're using data.
We're using data, and one of the great things about Compass is our Joseph Siraj, who worked at Microsoft as their lead artificial intelligence. He helped develop or worked in the artificial intelligence department at Microsoft. Is now working at Compass.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, moving our artificial intelligence.
I had no idea.
Into that direction. And the one guy, James Hart, I believe his name is. James Hart was in charge of video at Amazon and is now working at Compass.
No way!
Yeah, so Compass is
Compass is the real deal.
Compass is the real deal, and when I joined them in 2018, no one really knew Compass here locally in San Diego, and Go Compass, now we're the #1 company in San Diego County right now. So we're really happy. And they're really a real estate company that's infused with technology.
Awesome. Well, the show's called What's Next? And we're talking, right? And we're talking about technology. So in 20 years, where do you see the industry of real estate going here? Like what, and I know we talked about this, but is there ever going to be a time where you think the real estate agent is obsolete?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So in 20 years, what do you think the role of the agent and technology, what's that going to look like?
Well, let me read you. I'm sure you've heard of Barbara Cochran, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she did a quote one time that resonated with me. And I have it right here. So technology is a facility that helps the agent and consumer. Is what I say.
Yes.
Okay. And it is.
Yes.
We do need technology. We live in a digital age. But the one thing she did say, which really stood out for me, is nothing replaces the mind and the heart of an agent and the judgment factor.
Yeah.
That is what makes somebody get a good deal, the right home in the right neighborhood, and feels good and feels comfortable on closing on it.
I love that.
A Zestimate can't give you that.
Right.
Okay. So at the end of the day, I think the role of an agent is always going to be there, but the amount of agents that are going to be available will not be there.
Got it.
So only the superior agents who know how to use technology, but also have that personal touch, are still going to be there.
So if you want to be around, you're going to have to level up.
I tell everybody on my team, when it comes to technology, know it better than anybody else.
I love that.
If I give you a Ferrari, but you don't know how to drive it, then there's a problem.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So know the technology better than anybody else, and figure out how to use it, how to implement it, how to execute it. And when you do that, you're going to be okay. But do not let it replace you.
Love that. Powerful words from Mr. Richard Elias. That was amazing. What we're going to do is, before we head out here, there's a last segment I like to call Finish the Sentence. It's light and fun. It's going to help everybody learn a little bit more about you. So here we go. These are rapid fire. We're going to start just like this. If I wasn't a real estate agent, I would be...
I don't know.
What about a chef? You like to cook,
you know what?
right?
Yes, I would. I love to cook. I would be a chef.
So, and do you do all the, most of the cooking at home, all the cooking at home? Or
I do the creative cooking at home.
You got so you have a passion for cooking.
Yeah, I have an outdoor barbecue area, and Sam.
Listen up, Tony. We're going over there.
Yeah, Tony, you guys. I already told you you're coming. you're coming to my house. Sam, the cooking guy, is he's my Mike Ferry of cooking.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
He has a big Evo. I have an Evo. I had to be like Sam, So if I wasn't a real estate agent, I can definitely see myself being an executive chef in a restaurant, or going to people's homes and cooking for them, and obviously participating in the food.
Yeah, love that.
Here's one for you. Here's one for me.
Yeah, you got to do that. Yeah. Awesome. All right, my friends say I'm the best at
making them laugh.
Making them laugh. Love it. My go-to vacation spot is Vegas, baby. That's so...
I don't know why.
You're so incredibly money.
I love Vegas.
Swingers? Remember that movie?
I love Swingers. I love
so money, baby.
You're so money.
We got to bring back money.
You know what? Honestly, we do have to bring back money.
We got to bring... so money.
You're so money. I don't care. You're money. I love that.
I love it. All right. My favorite thing to eat is...
Oh, man. So many good foods. But my favorite...
Give me one of your top 5.
Okay. I love tacos.
Tacos.
Like good tacos, like street tacos. Okay. I'm Middle Eastern, so there's a couple of Middle Eastern dishes I love to eat.
Okay.
One of them is called it's squash stuffed with rice and meat cooked in tomato sauce.
Ooh.
And
sounds great.
It's amazing. And I love Italian food, but
yeah.
I like the charcuterie. What do you call it? The boards with the meat.
Oh, charcuterie boards.
Charcuterie, yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, those are super cool.
I love those.
You're a man after my own heart then, because this Italian food is how I got this body type. That's why I look like this.
You're looking good, man. You're looking good. You're good. Don't worry.
You. I appreciate that. The best drink in the world
Vodka
is...
Press.
He answered that before I even got done.
I can answer that quickly.
All right.
With Tito's.
Vodka Press.
Yes.
With Tito's.
Yes, Vodka Press with Tito's.
Got it. All right. On the weekends, you can find me.
When the nightclubs were open in Omnia. And,
really?
Or realistically, hanging out with my family. I have 2 boys.
Okay. What are your boys' names?
My boys' names, I have Luke, who's 17, and I have Christian, who is 10. And my beautiful wife, Suha, Shuha.
Okay.
And you can find me. I love hanging with my family.
Yeah.
I love hanging with my closest friends. And I'm a pretty simple guy. I mean, I
KISS, right?
I'm a pretty, KISS.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid. I'm a pretty simple guy.
Love that. All right, well, couple more quick. The craziest thing one of my clients ever asked me to do for them was...
Come move the sign.
Come move the sign.
The for sale sign.
Oh, you mean that was like in their yard?
Yeah, they didn't like the location of it. when I was young, dumb, and stupid.
So did you go manually?
Yeah, I did it. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. In the rain. Yep, that's what I did.
Okay, all right. So a couple more quick. I love that, by the way. I've never told anyone that I
hate people know this. I don't like elevators.
You don't like elevators?
I hate elevators.
Well, we just took you up the elevator when you got here.
But I fake it till you make it. You know?
Man.
Okay. I don't like elevators.
All right. My favorite thrill-seeking activity would be...
Oh, thrill-seeking activity. I don't know.
Yeah?
I can't think of one right now.
Maybe riding in elevators?
Yeah. No. I'll do elevators all day. I don't like claustrophobic.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Okay, well, no problem. So then lastly, I want people to remember me as someone who...
I want people to remember me as someone that they can always come to for help, for direction, for guidance, or for someone that just to listen to. And I know what it takes to make it in this business. And I know what it took for me to, get where I'm at. I'm not even where I should be, but I want to help people. Yeah. And that's the one commitment that I've made to myself, that if I can give back and help other people become better in the real estate business and answer their questions and be there, because at the end of the day, there's enough business out there for everybody. But if I can help someone, struggling through whatever they're going through in this business, or if I can help them set their business up, I'd be more than happy to help them and answer questions and kind of guide and direct them. Yeah. But I'd like to just be known as the person that, he did care. He does care. And he helped me out.
Love it. That's great. So Richard Elias of the Richard Elias team at Compass Realty. Where can we find you? How can we get in touch?
I have my Instagram pages. Okay. It's Richard Elias team on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll make sure and drop that.
Yeah, if you guys want to drop that, and that's pretty much it. I'm pretty available. I'm always around, and I really enjoyed this today. This is actually my first podcast, so I've I've been de-virginized. So
okay.
Thank you.
So we popped the podcast
You popped
cherry.
the podcast cherry, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Wasn't that bad, actually.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean
we're doing an okay job then.
You guys did this guy was great. He was really good.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming on. So everybody stay posted for anything that Richard has going on. If you want to buy or sell a home, he's a great person to talk to. You can follow the What's Next podcast at the What's Next Pod on Instagram, YouTube. We are excited to see you for our next episode, which is going to be soon. And that's it. Tony, let's go, baby. Sit down with real estate agents and talk about how the industry is changing, thriving with technology. We look at strategy. We love it. And welcome to What's Next podcast.